today I'm going to be doing a review for you on the Michelle Phan Cosmetics line. I did receive an email from them a few months ago asking if I would be willing to review some of their products. So they allowed me to choose a few products that I was interested in, and they did send them to me, so I just kind of wanted to get that out there. But I figured it would be a great opportunity to try out some new products that I hadn't been able to try out yet. And also, since the holiday season is coming up, I figured I would go through these products now in case you guys were looking for some gift ideas for friends or family. So what I ended up getting was the Nightlife palette from Cosmetics, which is this here. The little travel palette. I got 2 lipsticks and a mascara from them. So I will just be going through each of these products and just letting you know my thoughts. So I'm going to start off with the Nightlife palette, and what I thought was really nice is that the palette itself comes with this little handout here, and I will have closer up pictures of everything on my blog as well if you can't see exactly what I'm pointing to and everything. But basically what this does is it uses each of the 4 quadrants that are in the palette and creates different looks for you. So I thought that that was really neat, especially if you're new to makeup. This would kind of be a great idea just to kind of see how to pair the shadows together. This right here is what the palette looks like. As you can see, it is pretty large. And also on the back, it does show you all of the product names. Again, I will have all of these on my blog, so you'll be able to see it. It is kind of small, but it's pretty easy to navigate through. So inside of the palette, you receive all of these products here, plus you also receive a little dual-ended brush, which I honestly didn't use this. But another tool that is actually very useful is this little kind of pointer. It looks like a nail dotting tool actually. And what this is used for is, I don't know if you guys can see, but there are actually little like nodules on the edge of each of the blushes, the lipsticks, and the eyeshadows. And what you can do is use this tool to actually remove the products and put them in the little travel palette. So I thought that that was awesome that they included this. And it's just neat that you can actually interchange all of these colors and use them in the smaller palette as well. So you end up getting 36 total products in this palette, and you end up getting 24 shadows, 4 blushes, and 8 lip products. So as you can see here, the 4 blushes are these bigger ones that are in the center, and surrounding each of those blushes are the eyeshadows and the lipsticks that come in the palette. So in my opinion, the pink blush here and this darker one up in this corner are the only kind of real true blush shades. I find that the other 2 are just very, very light, and I can show you swatches of them. And that's what they look like there. To me, they're more like highlighters instead of blushes, which is perfectly fine. It's just they're not labeled as that, so I just find that they would work better as an actual highlighter. So here are some swatches of the actual blushes. I find that the kind of darker tanner color and the pink are actually pretty pigmented, and I do have them on today. I kind of buffed it out a little bit so it wasn't so harsh, but I actually find that they're pretty pigmented and decent to blend out and everything. And these are the 2 highlighter shades, well, in my opinion, the highlighter shades, and they're also pretty pigmented as well. And that's what they look like on the hand. When they're kind of swatched out, they don't look as vibrant as they do when you do kind of a more concentrated swatch. But for blushes, I find that to be okay if I'm doing more of a blown out look. But if you really want a good like concentrated blush, then these might not be the best thing for you, but for me they work out fine. And the 2 highlighters are actually pretty pigmented. I don't know if you can see the darker of the 2 because it kind of exactly matches my skin, but this one is the lighter one here. So now onto the eyeshadows. I actually really like the majority of the eyeshadows that are in this palette. All of the eyeshadows that are on my eyes right now are actually from this palette, and they're some of my absolute favorites. So I do find that these ones are pretty pigmented. I've heard that some people, their eyeshadows in different palettes aren't as pigmented, but the ones that I've used are actually pretty decent, and I was very impressed. So I will show you a couple of my favorites in here. So here are a few of my favorites. This one's a black, and it's actually very, very pigmented. I was really impressed. This goldy color here is actually one of my absolute favorite shadows in this palette, and I have it on my lids right now. It's just a very pretty gold, And these two are kind of more darker purple colors. So as you can see, the darker shades are actually very nicely pigmented, and I was super impressed. And here are swatches of them. So I actually really think that these are very nice. And I don't find that they have very much fallout when you're putting your brush into the product. They are soft, but they're not so soft that there's just powder everywhere, which is very nice. And as you probably saw, there are a few purple shades, kind of lighter purple shades in here. Now with these, the pigmentation is okay. I mean, they're not the best purples that I've seen, but they're not horrible either. They obviously don't compare to like Sugar Pill or anything like that, but I find that they're pretty decently pigmented, and they do apply fairly evenly, which is a huge thing for me, especially with purples, because I know that they're kind of hard to manufacture. So here is kind of a swatch out of those. So as you can see, they're actually not bad at all, and they're just not super, super vibrant, and they are, this one especially right here is slightly patchy when it's kind of blended out. It is very easy to work with, and I did use it kind of on the outer portion of my lid today, and it does work beautifully. You just need to really build it up a bit. So next we're going to talk about my least favorite part of this palette, and that is going to be the lipsticks that are included in the palette. My big thing with palettes is that you don't really want to combine lip products or cream products in general with powders. It just gets dirty, it gets messy, and I don't find it to be super clean, and that's the one downside to these palettes, is that they do mix the lipsticks in with the powders, so they get very, very dirty, and I'm just not a huge fan of that at all. And as I said before, there are 8 lipsticks in this palette, so that's kind of 8 products that are getting kind of gross while you're using them, so it's just not my favorite thing. And I wish that they had just put these separately instead of mixing them in with the palette. And I will show you some swatches. So here are the first top 4 lip products that are in there. They're kind of more of a glossy finish, and I do find that they're a little bit sticky on the lips, but nothing that's too kind of crazy, and they are pretty comfortable on the lips. We'll swatch them out for you. So as you can see, these 3 here are actually very, very pigmented. And the little bit of tackiness that they have does make them last pretty decently on the lips. And as I've mentioned before, I'm not big on lip products. I kind of tend to wear through them a little bit faster than everybody else, so they kind of last like maybe an hour or 2 on me, because I constantly lick my lips and everything, but they are really nice and they're pretty comfortable on the lips. And here are the other 4. And I don't know if you can see with this one, but it actually has black eyeshadow in it, because it is right next to a nice kind of sparkly black eyeshadow. So that's just kind of proving my point that they just shouldn't be mixed together, and that is the one major downside of this palette. But you can see there's a nice matte red here. There's this kind of darker toned red. And this one here is a nice vibrant pink, and that one is also kind of more of a matte type finish. I find that the mattes, while they're in the palette, they are kind of getting more dry, which makes sense. I mean, you're constantly opening and closing the palette, and you're leaving it open if you're using multiple colors, so they're going to get more dried out than actually in a tube. And again, you can see in that pink that it's totally just has black in it, so again, that's just one thing I would change. And the red here isn't super, super pigmented. I will actually be going over an actual red bullet lipstick that is very, very pigmented, but unfortunately this one isn't super pigmented. But the pink on the bottom and this kind of more berry toned up top is decently pigmented. So kind of along the same lines as the first ones. There are a mixture of kind of more glossy and more matte finishes for the lipsticks in this palette, so there are a variety of options, but like I said, it just doesn't work well when it's mixed with powder. So another thing to consider is the price of this palette. For all of these products, so again, you get 36 products total, you get the 24 eyeshadows, you get 8 lipsticks and 4 blushes. You end up paying $75, which I know seems very, very steep for this. That's kind of what I thought when I was looking through all of the products and how much everything costs. I just thought that $75 was a little bit steep. I mean, when you do consider the prices you pay for other palettes, it's pretty decent, and honestly, I think that this one is a very good palette to invest in. I just think, in my opinion, if they took out the lipsticks in here and made it a little bit cheaper, it would be more budget friendly and more worth it for people to purchase. And I would also maybe consider doing a highlight shade and doing more blushes that are kind of more useful, I guess. I find that the pink is very useful, it's very pretty, and I also like to mix it with this one and it makes a nice kind of more natural blush, but I just find that having these two considered blushes isn't really what they are, so I just find that they're more highlighter shades. So if you want to substitute maybe another blush color or actually label them as highlighter shades, it might be better to do it that way. Alright, so now to kind of go along with the palette, I am just going to be showing you quickly the little travel palette that comes along with the eyeshadow palettes, and you do get one of these for free if you purchase one of the Life palettes, which is actually pretty cool. And the neat thing about this is that you can actually add in a blush and a bunch of different eyeshadows, or if you choose to use the lip products, you can add those in here as well. And this is just a great little handy palette, and it's very sturdy. It's a hard plastic on the outside, and it has magnets, so it closes similar to this one here. And you can just kind of create your own custom palette, and I actually like to use it. I'll take out certain shadows that I feel like using like per week, or during the tutorial that I filmed I actually use this, and it's just so handy. And I wish that a lot of companies that did bigger palettes like this would actually provide you with something smaller, because I just think that that's really cool, and it's nice that you don't have to worry about paying for it. So this is just a neat option, and it also has a fairly large mirror, which I was very happy with. So I just think that that's awesome that they do that, and this is a little great palette to have. Alright, so next I'm going to be going over the mascara that I got from them, and this one is the Lash Gallery Waterproof Dramatic Volume Mascara. And I will show you what the brush looks like. So as you can see, it's a pretty full brush. It's actual bristles, it's not plastic, which I am pretty happy with. And it's also slightly curved and slightly flatter on the top. And I really do like this. The only thing that I don't like is I do not like wearing waterproof mascara. So I was a little bit bummed when I was actually sent the waterproof one and not the regular one, but that's not a big deal at all. Either way, I tried it out for about a month, and I find that it has amazing, amazing volume. I actually really like this. I was very, very impressed. And it works well being combined with other mascaras to create like holy crap lashes. It's really great. And this stuff, seriously, if you like waterproof mascara, you will love this, because it honestly does not budge. It doesn't flake at all. It keeps a nice curl in your lashes, but holy shit, this is like crazy to get off though. It is very difficult to remove, so that's the only thing. And that's another reason why I don't like, personally, I don't like waterproof mascaras, just because I tend to lose lashes anyway, so that's just a downside for me personally. But if you like it, you will like this, because it does not budge. It's a very good waterproof mascara. So the cost for this mascara is $20. So again, it's a little bit expensive, but if you're willing to spend the money, then it's very good. Honestly, I would recommend it, and I think it is worth the $20 for what it does for the lashes. So the last products that I received are 2 lipsticks, and one of them I have on today. And this one is called Misty Mauve, and it's a very pretty mauve pink color, and that's a swatch of it. And these lipsticks that I received are cream finishes. They are super comfortable on the lips. Honestly, it feels like I have a chapstick on, and I find that they last pretty well throughout the day. I've gotten about 4 hours of wear before starting to notice some fading and having to reapply, and that's surprising for a cream too, because it kind of seems like a more satiny type finish on the lips, which I actually really like, because I don't find that it kind of smears all over the place, and it stays in place, and I just really like them. They're very, very comfortable on the lips. The next one that I got is called Love Me, and this is a very pretty red. Honestly, on me, I do not like red lipstick, but if you're into reds, this is a good one to have. And it's definitely more of a blue toned red. So that's what it looks like there. It is very pretty, and it just glides on. Both of these do. They're just very nice on the lips. They're very smooth, so soft, very moisturizing. I just can't say enough about these lipsticks. So the cost of these lipsticks is $16.50, so it's a little bit pricey. It is more than MAC, but if you're willing to spend a little bit on your lipsticks for these ones, I think it's worth it just because they are very creamy. As you can see, they're super pigmented and they last very well on the lips. So I would definitely recommend them just for that alone. They are amazing. Yes, the price is a little bit steep, but as I said, if you're willing to spend the money, I would definitely try them out if you're looking for a new lipstick to try. Alright guys, so just kind of to do a little run through of my favorite products, I definitely love the eyeshadows in this palette. Those are my favorites. I'm not a huge fan of the lipstick glossy type things that are in here, or really the two lighter blushes that you can say. I do like the pink and this more darker color, but those two I don't really find a use for, and I don't personally use them as highlighters, so I just have other products that I gravitate towards more over those two. And for the lipsticks, my favorite is definitely the Misty Mauve. I just think that this is a gorgeous lipstick. It's great for every day, and it's just so comfortable on the lips, and I really do like the formula. And again, with the mascara, as I said, it's great, but for me personally, I just don't like the waterproof formula, but I'm like that with any mascara, so it doesn't really matter with that aspect, but it has great volume, and it definitely holds a curl. So if you do like waterproof mascara, I would highly recommend this. Alright guys, I really hope that you found this review to be helpful, and let me know if you have tried any of her products and if you like them, what your thoughts are, and everything like that. So I will have a link down below to where you can purchase Cosmetics, as well as my blog post that will have up-close pictures of everything that I purchased, prices, and just me talking a little bit about the products. Okay guys, I will talk to you all soon. Bye.